Hi, I'm Ross Barry and welcome to our COVID-19 news update on this Tuesday, April 7. More positive signs are emerging that the so-called coronavirus curve is flattening as we enter the fourth week of social restrictions in New South Wales. Across the state, the number of new infections fell to just 49 in the 24 hours to 8 p.m. on Monday, bringing total cases now to 2,686, and that includes 3 new deaths, bringing the total number of deaths to 21. For the latest news on the Central Coast, we spoke a short while ago with Chief Executive of Central Coast District Health, Dr. Andrew Montague.
As of yesterday afternoon, we have 119 confirmed cases of COVID-19. And of those 119, still the trend we've seen is that the vast majority come from overseas contacts. So it's sitting around 75% of those cases. And of those cases, in total, we have had 9 people that have required being in hospital, but at this point in time there's only 3 that are still in hospital. The other 6 have been able to be discharged.
And are they ICU patients or just general admission?
So they're all general admission patients. No patients at this point have needed to be in an intensive care bed.
Well, that's good news. And look, it's nearly 3 weeks since the first case that was confirmed here on the coast. We must be starting to see more people entering recovery now. Is that the case?
It is the case. So once again, as of yesterday, we've got 44 people that have now recovered and obviously been able to then come out of self-isolation. So that's a really positive thing to see. That's just under a third of our total numbers of positive cases have come through that period.
Andrew, your office advised us this morning of a confirmed case at the Woodport Early Learning Centre in Erina. Can you share with us any information you have about that?
Yeah, so there's been a 3-year-old child from the Early Learning Centre that's a confirmed case. I think the really positive thing there is that both the child and their family are in isolation and they're doing well. They will get contacted every day by us to make sure they're going okay. At this point, the family members will only be tested if they develop symptoms. And the other important thing is that the child only last attended the centre on the 16th of March. So at this point, we actually don't exactly know where they picked up the COVID-19, but all close contacts that they've had have been identified and have been advised to self-isolate.
Well, the risk of a spike in COVID-19 cases associated with an influx of tourists over Easter has been a big discussion point for our readers in recent weeks. We spoke earlier today to Parliamentary Secretary for the Central Coast and Terrigal MP Adam Crouch about that, and also about the $10,000 grant on offer for eligible small businesses in New South Wales.
Look, we've been very, very clear on this, that we are actively discouraging people from holidaying in the regions. The Deputy Premier has been on TV again today reminding everyone you're effectively breaking the law because you are in breach of a public health order if you travel for holidays. People can be risking fines up to $11,000 per person should they do this. There will be messages on the M1, on the overhead boards, reminding people to turn around and go home. In addition to that, our police have been actively working with all of the local real estate agencies and hotels, etc., and they have been doing a wonderful job complying. They have been cancelling all of their holiday accommodations.
We understand the beaches are still open, but can you just talk to us exactly what the protocols are now for the use of beaches?
Yeah, look, absolutely happy to, Ross. Look, the beaches are open for exercise only. Now, that means running, walking, swimming, scuba diving, snorkeling, surfing, fishing is classed as an exercise, a passive exercise. Even a mum sitting on the beach with her 2 children are playing, they're exercising. But what we are saying, as soon as you have finished, you need to leave the beach. So you can't congregate on the beach. So sunbaking on the beach, reading on the beach is not classed as exercise, Ross. And well, look, the local surfers, you can go out there and absolutely surf, Ross, but once they've finished, they need to head home.
Look, can I just turn attention to the announcement last week by the Treasurer Dominic Perrottet around the additional funding of $750 million as part of the previous bushfire support fund that's going to be available for small businesses, or some small businesses that are eligible, up to $10,000 apiece. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, look, this is a great lifeline again for small business. But we've got some really good small businesses on the coast, Ross, that are trying to adapt as quickly as they can to this very difficult situation. So what the government's done, this is the largest support package for small business in the history of New South Wales, and we know this will make a difference to many people's lives. If a company has between 1 and 19 employees and a turnover of more than $75,000, they'll be eligible for this $10,000 grant. In addition, if they've had payroll below the New South Wales government payroll tax threshold of $900,000, if they have an Australian business number as of 1 March 2020, and they're based in New South Wales and employ staff as of 1 March 2020, they'll be eligible. If they're highly impacted by the public health restrictions COVID-19 Act that we put in place, issued on the 3rd of March, they'll be eligible. And so these are a lifeline we're throwing to business, and that's going to be available in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, David Abrahams has some updates from around the coast. David?
Well, thanks, Ross. Firstly, Patrick Spedding, who we spoke to on Friday, has since provided this chart, which updates the intensity of cases in different postcodes around the Central Coast. It seems the highest incidence per capita is in the 2251 postcode, including the Kincumber, Saratoga, Bensville, Avoca and Copacabana areas. Hey, in Longjetty, the owners of the Glass Onion Society Cafe have adapted to the shutdown by establishing a fresh pop-up fruit shop. It seems one of the locals, at least, is particularly happy about it. And finally, Ross, we haven't heard a lot of sport to report on in recent weeks, but there is one exciting story. That's the story of Woy Woy Roosters rugby league mum and talented Indigenous artist Kylie Cassidy. Kylie had one of her art pieces selected to be used in the design of the 2020 Sydney Roosters Indigenous round jersey. Here's Kylie with the Sydney Roosters' Brett Morris with the artwork on display at the announcement ceremony. Kylie tells us the artwork highlights, among many other things, the journey taken by the club over the years, including to win its 15 premierships and the strong Indigenous heritage of the club. Shown here as a circle with journey lines branching out and representing the many community programs and events the Roosters are involved in. And let's hope we don't have too long to wait for a resumption of the NRL and the very popular Indigenous round. Back to you, Ross.
Thanks, David. In the search for even a hint of sport, we grabbed this quick clip of Ethan and Archie, who made the most of their exercise time after what I'm told was a long day of homeschooling. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on Friday for 5 at 5.